Well, we're back, bringing you more content. The Viral Downtown Podcast. Check us out on YouTube.
I think?
Huh? What?
You're like, I think we might have to we took a week off. I mean,
No,
we
we
took
miss
a week off?
Well, I don't remember. I'm just saying it all kind of blends together. No. I didn't know if we did or not.
Definitely did take a week. But okay.
We did take a week off, but we're back. We're on YouTube, Viral Downtown Podcast, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Follow along with the show. We're also on Spotify too, which you may be listening to this on. But it's good to see you guys. Ryan Rabinowitz here with Trent Bailey, Ryan Collins, Brandon Core, our producer. Let's catch up a little bit. What's going on? Fill me in on your lives. How is everybody doing? Are we healthy, happy, strong? I just broke a paperclip.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know, what's it called? We're finally getting to the point of the year where it's like I feel like this week is the first. I mean, I know Trent's in Nashville, but in Michigan, you kind of feel like it's actually fall. This week, you feel a little chill in the air. It's a little rainy and shitty out. You feel like you're finally getting into some football weather.
Just how I like it.
Yeah, I was going to say along the same lines. I think football season's in full swing now. I mean, we're getting to week 4, which is typically, I think some teams have their bye week 4, right? So I think we're finally like.
I think it's after week 4, Trent.
Okay, either way, it's like it actually feels like it's here now. It's not just early stages of the season. You're starting to see what some of these teams are. You're starting to be able to formulate opinions about these teams and stuff. So that's fun. And as our listeners probably know, football rules the lives of the three of us for the most part. So it's been good.
Sports rule my entire life.
For the most part, I feel like that's all we know and love.
Yeah.
I did
sports, food, work.
On the note of the weather changing, I'm a bigger guy. I like to wear shorts as long as I can. This is my peak weather. This is like when I can go outside wearing shorts and a hoodie, and if I'm outside for too long and I start to sweat a bit in the hoodie, that's the perfect weather. Not to toot my own horn, but this week, 2 different times.
Do you not like wearing sweats?
No, I really don't. I try to push the shorts as long as I can.
What?
That's the great thing about this kind of weather too. Like I said, if it's 65 and slightly chilly, you can do shorts and a hoodie. That's good for guys my size.
Oh, yeah, you can. Shorts and a hoodie is as good as it gets usually. But yes. I like when you get to jogger/sweat season.
Well, I just don't. Whenever, like I said,
don't like that.
I'm not a big fan. I try to see. Here's the thing, and no free ads, but the one thing that these companies like Lululemon and Rhoback and whatnot have done a really good job of is you can dress the joggers up now. Like you don't even have to wear real pants or jeans anymore.
Well, yeah, I like wearing jeans too. I think jeans get a bad rap for being uncomfortable. I truly do.
Yeah, I have no problem with jeans. I had a buddy.
If you get a good pair of jeans, and not even a good pair, just a pair of jeans that fit you, they are comfortable.
Yeah, I had a buddy in high school that took pride in the fact that he never once wore jeans to school. He only wore sweatpants or like shorts or whatever.
Jeans were like all we used to have back in the day.
That's kind of a weird thing. That guy sounds like a loser.
That's not very nice. Jeans are like the only thing that I feel like we used to have back in the day to dress ourselves up. Now, like I said, you can wear those Lulu commission pants and they feel like sweatpants, but they're pretty solid. I would recommend those to anyone. And they stretch too. That's the thing. I need pants that stretch. But anyway, where I was going with that is that 2 times this week with this weather, even if it's a little like gray and misty, I've done 2 separate 5-mile walks this week. 5 miles. Me.
Nice.
That's it. That's
I tried to get back into running recently.
Well, I'll give you. Tell you that like you finished a New York City marathon. You walked 5 miles. It's pretty nice.
I wasn't. Nice. I was less than 20 miles short of a marathon.
Going on a walk. Did you go by yourself?
Yes, I went by myself. I throw the AirPods in. The first walk I went on, I listened to an entire album, a new album out, Charles Wesley Godwin, shout out. And then on this walk today, I listened to some podcasts and I made a phone call. It was very nice. 5 miles. That's a long. I mean, that's a hell of a walk.
That is like. No, it is. I'm not saying it's not. That's by what's it called? We all went to State, and State is notoriously a huge campus, and that was legit my favorite part of like the week would be walking from class to class and just listening to podcasts, just walking around the campus. I fucking love that. So I love a good walk. The problem is I can't I it's hard for me to get up for a walk if like the weather is even remotely shitty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like
don't know.
working out outside or whatever. Like if it's like not 75 to like 65 degrees, I'm out. You know what I mean? I'm not walking, not doing any of that bullshit. I'll either go to the gym or just sit my ass in my bed.
That's fair. Trent, how'd your back into running excursion go?
Oh, I was just going to say, I tried to get back into running. I ran like, okay, so in Tennessee, being from Michigan, now living in Tennessee, it is, there are some things, some adjustments that you're just not ready for until it absolutely hits you and knocks you off your ass. And for me, you can't just run through the neighborhood here. I thought you could. I started to. It's too hilly. There's it's mountainous. It's just up and down, up and down, up and down. It's not like suburban Michigan, suburban West Michigan, where I'm from, where you can just like go for a run outside and run around, take a nice jog, and just release all your inner. Just let everything hang out. You can't do that. It's oh shit. I'm running up another hill for another 5 minutes, and then I'm dying at the top, and I gotta walk for 2 minutes, and then I'll start running again. Like it was horrible. So needless to say, I'm now looking at other options for cardio. If you guys have any,
hike.
Oh, dude, it's a different beast. I'm telling you, and you wouldn't think that. I mean, we all know that Tennessee is like in Appalachia, and there's all this. It's different. It's mountainous. The terrain's different, but you don't realize that until you go be in it. Because I thought nothing of it. I put my shoes on, went for it, didn't work out.
I keep trying to tell myself that I'm going to be a running guy. I'm trying to force it a lot. I feel like I got to give people a lot of credit that run. Like get up in the morning, run, have really nice shoes, run far, run half marathons. Like that's one of those things that I feel like I could, if there's any, like I'm kind of in one of those spots right now in my life where I could just like use an easy win. Not that like running a marathon's easy, but that's like a tangible thing that you can point to for the rest of your life when you're in a job interview or if you're trying to go through an icebreaker at a new company and they're like, tell us one fun fact about yourself. And then I can stand up and be like, I ran a marathon last year. Like that's a good social thing to have in the pocket, I feel like. So if anything, I'm just doing it for social status. But I don't know if I have it in me. I'm not really built for it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not even I feel like everyone is capable of running a marathon, like seriously, and like if you're somewhat conditioned, it's just like the fact that you legit have to train for it for at least I think like 4 months. Like fuck that.
Yeah, well, I had a buddy ask me the other day. He was like, "Hey, do you want to run a 10K with me in April?" And I'm like,
You could do a 10K, Trent.
"No, I've done multiple 5Ks before,
I've done a 5K
and like
too.
I was a lot younger. I was in much better shape, and now it's just like, dude, the thought of even beginning to train for a 10K is like, it ain't gonna happen. Plus, if it's in April, that means I got to go through the winter stage, which is like, if I don't own a treadmill, so I either got to join a gym, which I'm broke, can't do it. B, I'm gonna have to run outside when it's cold. Don't want to do that either. So,
Can you explain to me why marathons? Whoever the PR for marathons doing the K thing instead of just having the K just be the amount of miles you ran. I don't know who the fuck did that. It sucks. I hate it. Like, why isn't the 5 like if
because it's kilometers? It's that. That's
I don't give a shit. I don't care if I sound stupid and I sound like a stupid American. For my stupid ass American ass, that I hate that. And
no, I hear you.
And I like what's a 10? A 10K is like what, 6 miles?
Yeah, 6.2, I think, or something like that.
Yeah,
you could do that, Trent.
But like, why? Like,
sorry, go ahead, Collins.
Huh?
Collins, go ahead. I think I'm behind.
But
Am I behind?
in 20, I don't know. I mean, what's it? It's not fits it on the other end, I think, Rabs. But yes, you are. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. This is too much marathon talk.
Too much
enough marathon talk. The marathon's over.
Yeah. Enough marathon talk. I was last week. Part of the reason why we did not get an episode up is I was in Denver for work for the entire week, which to be, I don't know, what is that, mountain time? I was 2 hours behind Collins and Trent was 1 hour behind Collins. And based on my work schedule and the stuff that you guys have going on during the day, it was damn near impossible to find time to record an episode. So, here we are doing this now. But I did want to bring up one thing with my travel. So I haven't had this happen to me before ever, which is like a really ridiculous thing. So I have to give some context here. This is an Uber situation that I want to address. So I don't use Uber Eats. I don't use DoorDash. I don't do Grubhub, any of that kind of stuff. However, I was working a job in Houston to work the men's Final Four back in end of March to April. And with part of my job, just given my responsibilities, I was like lunch guy. So when it came time for everyone to eat lunch, I would be given the corporate credit card and would have to get the lunch order for everyone put in. Pretty high stakes job. So I am using an Uber in Denver this weekend to get around from the airport back to my hotel. And I get a text from one of the ladies that I worked with in Houston. And she goes, hey, and I like don't have any contact with this person outside of the 2 weeks I worked with her in Houston. She's like, hey, did you happen to take an Uber in Denver this weekend? And I was like, yeah, I did. Like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, I got charged on my credit card for an Uber and I wasn't sure like where it was coming from. So now I'm like panicking of like, oh, could be big trouble that I'm now fraudulently using someone's credit card to pay for my Ubers. And I logged in, and because the Uber Eats app is linked to the Uber app, her credit card, the corporate card, was still linked on my thing. So I like might have been using her card to order Ubers for the last, I don't know how long ago was March or April. So that was my Uber incident. Real
Did
tough.
Did she say anything else to you? Like,
no, she was super cool about it. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just looked at my Uber app and yes, I have been using your credit card since we left Houston to use Uber because I had no idea what I was doing. So I had to like switch the payment option for the Uber I just took and I deleted her card and she was super cool about it. She's like, no worries at all. But one of the more embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me, and when it's involving someone else's money in their corporate card, not good. But I had a great time in Denver. Denver's fucking awesome.
Yeah. If it's a corporate card, you're probably fine. And also, what's it called? We live in like rural Michigan. Not rural, but you know what I mean. It's not like it's not like you're in a city. So it probably amounted to what, like $120? Nothing crazy.
It wasn't a ton. I think the first Uber I took was like $60 before I got the text and I figured it out. But that was a tough look. But Denver was fucking awesome. Great city. I've been there once before, but didn't really spend a ton of time in the city. This time I was right downtown, so I didn't get a chance to do like the hiking and stuff. But awesome town, great weather. I don't know if you guys have any like everyone. I mean, especially again, I feel like we were in college at the peak Uber time of when people really started to dive in. And like, I don't know how I would have survived in college without using the Uber app. I don't know if you guys have any like sick and like that Uber story is not all that sick and twisted or ridiculous, but I'm sure you guys have some funny ones for the people.
I've got one, but it's not too elaborate. So what happened was my buddies and I took a trip to Vegas in April, and we Uber to this. I don't even know where to begin with this. So the front man from Motley Crue was named Vince Neil. He has like an alleged breakfast joint in Vegas. We're like, okay, that's where we're going for breakfast. That's where we want to go.
Get to Vince Neil's breakfast spot.
We went there. Listen. We get there.
You're a sicko.
The signage is up there. There is no Vince Neil restaurant to be seen. The signage is there, but it's just like not. You walk in, it's like a bagel store. It's like nothing Vince Neil. No, once you get in the building, it was a whole confusing thing. I think they had just like sold the building, or they were just rephrasing or rebranding. Excuse me, everything. That's not important. So we leave there. We get an Uber from there back to our place. The guy pulls up in this Tesla. So we were like, okay, this guy's going to be cool. We jump in there. He doesn't say a word to us. Me and my buddy George, you guys know George, we're just crazy. We're in the back seat. We're like, hey, do you have any recommendations for us? What's the best place to go in Vegas? And he just starts to, because I love to talk as it is. This guy hasn't said a word. I'm just trying to crack him a little bit. So I say, where's the best place to go? Where should we go? And he takes a second to pause, and then he goes, you guys talking slot machines, or you talking hookers and blow? And me and George looked at each other, and we were like, dude, like, we might die now. Like, I have no... It went from 0 to 1,000 in, like, 2 seconds.
What was the answer?
This guy just all of a sudden was like, well, of course I didn't say hookers and blow. I said we want to go... I actually asked him the best sports book to go to, and he said Circa, which was a fantastic time. We went up to like this big pool party, and actually I took Pistons money line that day against the Pacers. They won me a lot of money, even though the Pistons didn't win many games last year. They won that one. So that's all. That's my Uber story. When you're in Vegas, also, dude, in my experience, the Ubers in Vegas were extremely cheap. They're like $3 because there's so many of them, and you're not going very far. So it was like very, very cheap. But Collins, do you have an Uber story for us?
I have like a million, but I can't even like, because especially in college, that's usually you're in like, especially on the way back from the bar, you are usually destroyed, like absolutely hammered. But to be honest, I think most of my Uber stories are now like where I live, like in Metro Detroit, like Royal Oak area, coming back from those bars. There's always, I mean. Either it's like a mean guy or whatever. I think my number one Uber, though, was when I was in Atlanta. And I don't know if you guys have ever been in Atlanta. The traffic is legit the worst thing ever. Like, ever. And we go, I think, right when March Madness started like 2 years ago. And this guy picks us up in this like 2002 Town and Country because we're rolling like 6 deep and we're trying to go to this bar that's right next to the Atlanta Braves Stadium. It's called the Battery, whatever, like that whole area. And the Uber's like, oh, it says it'll be like 5 to 10 minutes, basically. And we're stuck on the highway for legit an hour and a half in this Town and Country. The guy has no AC in this 2002 town. And there's like 6 dudes, and it's bad when we all had to wear masks. We're all like sweating profusely. We look terrible as we get out to go to the bar. You're like, oh, yeah. Hey, ladies.
You're hot.
That's
hot garbage.
We all have a million of them. I can't. The thing about it is, I don't remember half of them. That's probably why. Because that's like such a small part. Like, there's a couple of times where buddies have thrown up in Ubers, and that's not even funny because that's an $150 fee.
It's a tough fee.
So, like, it's not something you can laugh about. But it's funny as you look back at it. But no, not really.
Whatever. It's just I just thought it was worth mentioning, and that was kind of my plug in there to talk about myself and my trip to Denver. But Uber, what a fucking world we live in, though, huh? Like, I mean, I feel like this is a very cliche topic, but like, what do you even do before Uber? Uber, Lyft. I'm an Uber guy through and through.
Call taxi, bro.
Lyft. Something about Lyft seems dirty to me. I don't really care for it.
Both. They're both the same thing.
Yeah, I generally try to avoid. That was the one thing too, like being in school at Michigan State, and living in that neighborhood, Collins, like I feel like, I mean, you probably were a little further away than I was from stuff when you were on Lewis Street, but I always tried to make it an effort. If I didn't have to take an Uber and I could walk, I would always walk. I don't trust.
No, I walked.
Yeah, I don't trust Uber drivers at all. Not that all Uber drivers are bad. I don't mean to disrespect anyone that drives for Uber, but everyone knows. I trust Uber driver.
Are you like a front seat Uber driver guy?
No, dude. That's like I I don't mind biting the bullet. There has to be a certain level.
I'm always the front seat guy.
Yeah, there has to be a certain level of intoxication, and like if the numbers work out to where someone has to sit in the front seat, and I'm like feeling the right type of way, I will go sit in the front seat and mix it up. I hate to be the guy that gets in the car.
Have you
and
ever been in an Uber? Has there ever been an Uber that you've legit like, basically like, oh, we have room in this Uber? Every Uber situation is like, oh, we gotta squeeze in, guys. Do you mind taking 5?
No. There's never been.
That's every. There's never a situation where it's like, hey guys,
plenty. I
get plenty of leg room back here.
I feel
Unless
like
you're like traveling for work and you're by yourself.
Yeah, but I feel like most Ubers I've ever been in, it's like having to plead with the driver of like, hey, I know your Prius only seats 4, but we have 6. Is there any chance that we can get everyone in here? And then it just depends on, it's all a locational thing. Like if you're on a college campus, usually you're getting away with it. But if you're somewhere respectable, it's usually a no-fly zone. But yeah, Uber, what an invention. What a company. All right, let's kick off the pod today. A little bit of a lighter show, I suppose. I guess we have to start off with the biggest news in sports and pop culture and music and I guess the world today. Like I would have to imagine that there could have been, I don't know if there's countries at war right now or if we're in some type of economic recession, you wouldn't know because the only thing that anyone's talked about for the last like 2 days is Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. And boy, do I have to tell you, I don't give a shit. But I know that some of you guys on this podcast probably do, and most of the people listening probably do. And I got into a relatively, I wouldn't say intense, it was one of those, just a disagreement with my girlfriend about this. And her notion was that Taylor Swift has now put Travis Kelce on the map. And my dumb boy brain was like, that's not true. Travis Kelce is one of the best tight ends of all time. He's the best tight end in the league. Huh?
Because I've seen a whole thing that girls are doing that just to piss off their boyfriends, like a little.
Oh, I know. She was. I think she was dead serious.
Look. In true TB fashion, here I have stats for us. Would you guys like me to read you some stats?
Sure. What are you gonna bring?
I can put this in perspective for all you people listening. So this is from Front Office Sports on Twitter, or excuse me, on X. Sorry. I think they're verified, whatever that means these days on that app.
No, they're a legit app. I mean, whatever.
Okay. Since Taylor Swift showed up to Sunday's Chiefs-Bears game, there was a 400% spike in Travis Kelce jersey sales. Travis Kelce's podcast ranks number 1 overall on Apple Pods. Viral Downtown, soon to dethrone you. Travis Kelce added 383,000 Instagram followers. There were 24.5 million viewers watching that Bears-Chiefs game, even though it was an absolute blowout, and it shouldn't have been watched by that many people. It was the number 1 game of Week 3. There's a bunch here. There was a 63% jump in female viewers from age 18 to 49. So it puts it in perspective for you to, and the last one here is that the Chiefs, who are the defending champs, their Google search ability, or whatever you want to call it, the amount of times they were Google searched, triple. And they just won the Super Bowl last year. So it really puts into perspective to you, like, American football rules America. It doesn't rule the world at all. And I know no one was arguing that, but it just puts it in perspective. Like, dude, Taylor Swift is worldwide famous like crazy. And she gets with a good-looking NFL player, and all of a sudden now the NFL player is benefiting from being with her. So some people think it's a publicity stunt or whatever. I just find it super, super fascinating. Look, if they actually are into each other, there's actually something there, more power to you.
You guys know I love Taylor Swift. Love her music. Love her. I love her music. Fantastic.
Hey, Collins, what's your favorite Taylor Swift album?
Speak Now. Fantastic album. Love it.
Great. That's great.
Love that. Shout out Ours, all-time banger. I mean, I like every Taylor Swift album, to be honest. Love T Swift. Always have.
Collins, my favorite one is Reputation. We don't have to talk about it, but I love Reputation.
That might be one of the worst takes I've ever heard, but we don't have to get into it. There's a couple great songs on there. I won't lie, but it's T Swift. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like picking children. It's hard to pick. I will say this: the whole Kelce thing. It is very funny to watch the Swifties like get super into football because Swifties are not like those type of people. They're like when T Swift was like dating the guy from the 1975, like that's more their world. Like I have no idea who the guy from 1975 is, but like, know what I mean? I feel like there wasn't that big of a reaction when, know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it.
She was dating that guy from the 1975. Now she's dating Kelce. It's like one of those, especially in America, it's like the biggest crossover ever. Because I would argue even before this, Kelce's probably a top 10 famous football player.
Yeah,
even before this,
for sure.
And it's the biggest sport in America. So I wouldn't say it's like, I mean, I think everyone's probably out of Taylor Swift's league. She's probably the most famous person in the world out of probably, say, Bad Bunny or her. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, The Weeknd's probably up there.
I don't know about The Weeknd. What?
I think his Blinding Lights song is the most streamed song ever. I think.
Right, really? I don't know how T Swift. I know what I mean, but in America at least, Taylor Swift's the most popular person in America. I think Kelce's probably like. Would you put him in like a top 150 of famous people?
Taylor Swift?
I don't know how to gauge that. No, Kelce.
It's Travis Kelce.
Oh, I don't.
Taylor Swift is one with a bullet right now. It's not even close.
Yeah,
she can't even live her life. I don't even know how she lives. It's insane.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, my bad for zeroing out there. No, in America, Travis Kelce is probably 150 is probably fair when you factor in
factor in everyone.
Yes, like movies.
He's
and
probably
TV.
higher than that.
Yeah. No, he's
now. It's funny though. Now he is because I think before Mahomes, it was like probably Mahomes, Burrow, 1-2, and now it's probably Kelce's most fucking known football player in America.
Well, certainly, I think he's leapfrogged the other two now.
Not Mahomes, but
dude, I think Tom Brady's still more famous than Mahomes is. This Taylor Swift thing for Travis Kelce is nuts. It's crazy.
No, for sure. I don't know. Travis Kelce is awesome. I kind of like it. I think it's funny. I like Travis Kelce.
Dude, I'm here for it.
I don't think the Swifties like Travis Kelce though, which is funny.
It doesn't seem like they do.
Evidently, they do.
Well,
they're buying his jerseys,
but they don't like it. They don't like him, Trent.
Well, why? How? Explain to me that how there's a 400% increase in his jersey sales. Who's buying them?
Because they always support they ride or die with T Swift, but I don't think there's a boat of the Swifties that are not all in.
But you know how much these jerseys cost. No one's dropping $100 on this if they don't care about him, if they don't like him.
Yeah, I mean,
a 400%. They quadrupled his jersey sales, and these jerseys are $100 a piece.
And he's not some bum. Like his jersey sells. Right. No, I'm saying though, like his jersey sells. His jersey's probably a top 20 jersey already before that. So,
dude, I feel like here's what's gonna happen, Collins. To answer your question about do Swifties like Travis Kelce? Like I'm with you guys.
I don't think they do. I actually don't think they do.
I feel like they might not.
As a Swiftie myself, I do like him.
On paper, I understand why you would think they wouldn't, but it's also like, dude, they're going to rock with her and rock with him until this inevitably crashes and burns, and then they'll hate him. It's like how, remember when didn't she date Harry Styles?
Like 30 guys you can make this example about.
Taylor Lautner, yes.
Jake Gyllenhaal, the whole squad. That's why we love Taylor.
So then they'll get after him. Then all those jerseys that they bought a lot of them will probably get burned, and that'll be a whole thing. But yeah,
there's been some good T-shirts out. I think Barstool put one out that said "Loving You" as Reed. Pretty good. Some pretty good stuff there. I don't know. I just think it's funny. I love this shit. You know, I love a nice little celebrity gossip, nice little celebrity relationship. They keep it interesting.
Did you guys see the joke about the only Swift Kelce duo I care about is DeAndre Swift, Jason Kelce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm a little sick of. I like Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce. I'm getting a lot of them in the last 6 months.
Dude, that's like
well,
that's
you're not
my
going to
whole
get less
thing.
of them anytime
That's
soon.
my
Well, there's a difference between this was even before the Taylor Swift thing, like their podcast and whatever. I don't know. It's whatever.
well, they're
I like
somehow
this whole thing. I like the lights. There's not. It's good to have a celebrity it couple. Know what I mean? It's not. It makes me feel like it's 2007 again.
I feel like they've somehow worked themselves into like being the two poster children of the NFL now, because I think everyone has started to catch on to the fact that you literally can't keep Patrick Mahomes off your television screen, which has become kind of asinine. So now the Kelce brothers have taken over, but I do just think it's a lot. I am always someone like here. Okay, so I will say that I probably did lose that argument as far as like Taylor Swift putting Travis Kelce on the map, because again, my boy brain is like, I know who Travis Kelce is. Anyone that watches sports knows who Travis Kelce is, because the Chiefs are probably the best sports team that exists right now across all four major sports, I would say. Like, just as far as like a dynasty in the last handful of years. So I'm like, if anyone knows anything about the world, the Lions did beat them. But like, I feel like people know who Travis Kelce is. I don't think that Taylor Swift dating Travis Kelce put Travis Kelce on the map. However, clearly, I didn't realize that the Swiftie fan base ran that deep to where like, this is Taylor's new guy, so everyone's going to get behind Travis Kelce and make a push here. I think Travis Kelce, honestly, I thought he was a cool dude until he got on the mic and did that jabroni thing. And I just thought he lost all credibility as being a cool guy. And I actually think he's incredibly lame. And it's just unfortunate that like the NFL Twitter
that did it for you.
Raps
is such an old guy.
I agree with that.
Man.
No, I agree with that.
That was just weird.
I completely agree with
that.
That
was very cringy, very, very cringy.
They were talking. The Cincinnati Bengals were talking shit all week.
Yeah, but Kelce's a no. Every single interview that gets done with like Mahomes or Andy Reid, Travis Kelce has to like video bomb it and like come up behind and make it all about him. He is the epitome of like make it all about him. Epitome.
No shit. He had an dating show.
Did he?
I like that about it. At least he's honest.
That's fair.
He is like a relatively entertaining guy, like pretty charismatic, I think, but I just think it's kind of over the top now. And he should just stick to being the best fantasy tight end ever, and that's like all he needs to do. The fact that I have to watch like the NFL Twitter and the analysts on these shows.
Rabs is the definition of a guy who's like, just play your position and don't ever talk.
I just want to watch ball. I'm not here for all the flair. Like, they got to pan to Taylor Swift in the booth. Like, it's enough is enough. And I don't know. Taylor doesn't have a great record of dating. And I do feel like Travis Kelce is in a much different echelon than the guy she's used to dating. So I don't know. Hopefully this is the one for Taylor. She's probably hitching her wagon to the right guy if she's dating an NFL superstar who's got a couple Super Bowl rings, and he seems like a very normal family. I think if I was her, I'd probably just slow down a bit and ride off into the sunset with him, but I don't know what this is all about, and I don't really care, and I wish him all the best. But I don't need, like, you guys have to level with me and understand that every Chiefs game you watch on television, like, we've already gotten the report that Taylor Swift will be in attendance for Chiefs Jets. I can't do it all year. I can't. I don't care. And if the NFL is going to try to capitalize on this of like, oh, we're going to get more women involved watching sports, like, I don't know what this world has become. I don't understand it anymore.
They're going to. So.
Time is passing me by. So good for them, I guess. Swift and Kelce. Cool. Is that all we have on the matter?
Yeah, there we go.
That's it. Okay, fair,
I think that's all we got. I mean, I could go on forever.
No, we can keep tabs on it as the year goes on, because I'm sure it's just not going to slow down, and I'm going to have to deal with it every week. Like, this is the new storyline, and like Mahomes, like it's the things that we prioritize in today's society are just. Again, I think I was born in the wrong time.
We've always prioritized this shit.
I just think it's lame, but nonetheless, we can mix in some.
I'll read your World War II books, Grandpa.
my almanac. Read my almanac. Oh my god.
Yeah. World War II in color.
Yeah, go read your almanac and tell me why Miguel Cabrera doesn't hold a candle to Hank Aaron. Go do that.
Hey, you won't find me dying on that hill.
I will cry my eyes out when he retires.
Shout out Miggy. We can sneak that in as three of us being diehard Detroit Tigers fans. Last week of Miguel Cabrera's career, one of the best baseball players ever. I'm gonna try to get down to Comerica Park on Saturday, I think, to see him one last time and
what's it
shed
called?
Some tears.
Did you guys also? This is another thing. Baseball pennant race, kind of. The only thing that's really in question is the NL wild card, and I think there's one AL wild card spot that's still up. JV went 8 innings the other day, kind of led them to a win that kind of kept them in the playoffs. Did you guys see how the Cubs lost last night?
Yes,
no, I did not. Explain it.
Dropped a fly ball, grabs in the 8th inning. Imagine going through a pennant race the entire year. And you lose a game, basically, and they lost again tonight, blowing a 3-1 lead with a couple players. So I think I think they basically have to win out to have a chance. And I don't know. I think who's ahead of them, Trent? You want to look that up for me?
Yeah, I'll pull it up right now. Yep.
But all time, so, like Suzuki in right field, who's had a great year for them, just flat out misses a fly ball in the 8th inning to give the Braves an opportunity to win the game. Like that is the where you look at it and you're like, why am I a sports fan? Like this isn't worth it. I just spent literally 6 months watching this team with hope and aspirations, and I literally take a bullet to the brain in 20 seconds. It is so sickening. Think about it. It's honestly sickening.
Collins, to answer your question, the Phillies have clinched the first wild card, I believe, and then it's down to the Cubs, who are 1.5 games ahead of the Reds, and then the Diamondbacks, who currently have that second one. So
there's a third one too now.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, it's just a 3-team race, I guess, for all that kind. Well, the Marlins also have 82 wins. The Cubs have 82 wins. Reds have 81 wins. Diamondbacks have 84 wins.
I think the Marlins are technically in that spot right now, but I'm just saying, like. Yeah. If the Cubs don't end up making the playoffs, and that's why, I mean, the Cubs have a pretty historic history of just being trash. They've literally been good for like 2 years in the past, like 40 years. Like they've literally had 2. They actually won a World Series, so credit to them. But it's like being a Cubs fan, I mean, that just kicks you right in the teeth, losing like that. But I don't know. I just thought it was funny to mention.
Yeah, it is hilarious.
Tough sledding. We can mix in. We got a little bit of NBA stuff. This was big time. I'm sure a lot of people that listen to the show are NBA fans, and I'll let you two roll with this one because you are our in-house NBA experts. Damian Lillard, after what feels like a decade of trade talks of he's happy in Portland, he's not happy in Portland, on the move, going to sunny Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There were a lot of pieces in that trade that were hard to follow, but essentially what the Bucks got. So
here's what all the Bucks. I think all the Bucks got was Dame Lillard
and a first, maybe, right or no?
No. Because Dame was the prize of all the Bucks got was Dame. I'm pretty sure.
Explain it to me like I'm 5.
But then
I believe that's true. No, I think they got Nurkic too.
Well, okay. Nonetheless, the big story is that the big fish is Dame. The Bucks got him. The Suns got. I don't know who the Suns got. They were involved. It was a 3-team trade. The Blazers got Drew Holiday. He's expected to get bought out.
The Suns got Nurkic. So
yeah,
basically the Suns
got Nurkic and the Blazers got Ayton.
Suns got off a bunch of money. That's why the Suns are involved in this deal because they're so cap tied with the Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. So
yeah,
I think
they dumped Ayton.
Yeah, they were trying to get off his money. So that's why they're the third team. First of all, I was fucking shocked when I saw this.
Me too.
I'm shocked they kept this super quiet. This honestly feels super desperate by the Bucks to, hey, it honestly, because you heard the murmurs all summer that Giannis might be on the move.
Yeah, that's why they did it.
No, I think 100% basically was like, oh, he's leaving. He probably basically told them like, hey, if we're not going to figure this out, I'm leaving. And I still don't think he signs a long-term deal because Dame's only, I think, in Milwaukee for the next 3 years. So it's not a long-term solution. But Dame Lillard was fucking awesome last year. I think he's about to enter a different point of his career. Can't really guard anyone, but he's probably a top 5 offensive point guard of all time.
Yeah.
He's that fucking good. And if Stephen Curry was not in the NBA, he'd be the best shooter in the league, probably. One of the clutcher players in prime time. And I actually like the fit with him and Giannis. I feel like Dame is a guy who's accustomed to playing off the ball a little bit. Like he can catch and shoot. Kind of him and CJ McCollum did that dueling banjo thing. And I also like it that, like, I like when Giannis is the screen and roll guy. You know what I mean? I like when he's the roller. He's basically a center, and it takes the offensive load off Giannis, especially when things break down at the end of games. With the Bucks have had issues, and with Brook Lopez, with Giannis, and with some other guys on that roster, it takes the defensive load off Dame. So I love it for the Bucks. Portland, I sneaky like it for Portland too. I think Aiden, after they lost in the finals, that went all sour. He was really good. He was probably like the second best player on a finals team, which is, you don't say that about a lot of guys. Like Chris Paul was good in that playoffs, but I don't think he wasn't like peak Chris Paul. Devin Booker obviously was the alpha of that team, but I love the deal for all parties. If you're a Miami Heat fan and Pat Riley, Damian Lillard, he would have ended up in Miami if his agent wasn't a fucking idiot.
I don't think it's his agent. I think it was Pat Riley.
Either way, whoever fucked it up, I mean, it was. I don't know why Pat Riley would do that though, Trent.
Well, because he's Pat Riley. He's got an ego. He's like, oh, they'll call me back. They didn't call him back. It was crazy.
No, you hear what I'm saying though, because
totally. No, Collins, I agree with almost everything you said. Like I love, first of all, love a good 3-team trade.
Same, love it.
I think the Blazers got better for sure. Like not better because they lost Lillard, but they just drafted Scoot Henderson number 2 overall, or number 3. So you know what I mean. Like they're gonna start building around him. They got Ayton, like you said. They're paying him the money. Scoot's cheap. What's the guy's name? Shaden Sharp is cheap. So like they have pieces. They're gonna deal Holiday or buy him out or something. So he's not gonna be there. But that's the case over there. You like that team. Young, budding team. They'll be good in like 3 years. The Suns, like you said, they just want to run it back with like a full year of this Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, not Chris Paul, but Devin Booker iteration of the Suns. Like that's what they want to do.
Well, and they got all those guys under contract, so that's why they need to get off Aiden's money.
Yes, right, because they're and it's Matt Ishbia. He came in there and basically like made them trade for KD within a couple weeks, and here they are. So they want a full offseason with that, and then the Bucks. Like just to put in perspective how much this moves the needle, I think the Celtics were inexplicably the title favorites. Like this morning, the morning that this trade dropped, and then as soon as the trade dropped, the Bucks skyrocketed to number 1. I think they were like the 4th or 5th favorite to win it all. They're instantly number 1, which I think rightfully so, because Collins, he did a great job breaking down like the basketball perspective of how those guys are going to work together. But like from just Giannis's perspective of he already won a championship, he's won 2 MVPs. He wants to continue to win, and if it's not going to be in Milwaukee, he's going to leave, like you said. So Milwaukee said, okay, we'll put our nuts on the table. We'll trade for Dame Lillard, who just had the best season of his career, even though he's 33 years old. But like you said, Collins, outside of Steph, he's the best shooter that we've seen since prime Reggie Miller. So that's awesome. And then as far as like the whole Heat thing goes, and this is just getting back to what started me on this whole tangent, dude, the report is that Pat Riley made the offer and then said, this is our offer. If you don't want it, don't take it. This is it. And I think he basically just like said, like expecting them to take it. And I think the whole time the Bucks were just kind of laying in the weeds, and here the Bucks are. Credit to the Bucks. And the whole thing about, real quick, the whole thing about Jrue Holiday, great defensive point guard. They're definitely going to miss his presence, but this was 100% the right move for them if it was to get Giannis a better number 2, because now Chris Middleton becomes the 3 and all this sort of stuff. I love it for the Bucks. I think with a gun to my head right now, I think the Bucks will roll through the East, and then it just comes down to who comes out of the West. Probably the Nuggets, like everyone loves. I don't know. It'll be a fun year, but the Bucks got a lot better. I'm happy for Giannis too.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens, and I don't think it's the Bucks. I think the Celtics are just as good. I think there's some other teams out of the East that will give them issues. I think I think it tits the clock on Embiid. I think Philly needs to fucking
Dude,
lose.
Embiid was the biggest loser from the day. Like he's got to
Yeah,
be.
I think Philly's gonna have to do something here and figure out this Harden thing before you get a situation where Embiid's like, "Hey, can you ship me the fuck out of here?
Yep.
Like seriously, I'm tired of this bullshit." I it is what it is. I mean, that's a great trade. I think for all parties. The Bucks are gonna miss Drew Holiday though. I'm not like they're going to have to adjust, and I could honestly see the Bucks kind of take a step back in the regular season from what they've been doing regularly when they just kind of dominate teams without Holiday, because it's gonna take a while to kind of replace that defensive stopper both ways. You can play without the ball. Know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's a lot to his game that is very, very special. So I'm it's going to take a lot from them collectively to fix that defensively. But when it comes to the playoffs, that team has struggled down the stretch of games. So the guys say, "Hey, go give me a bucket." Giannis isn't like that type of player. He's not a half court player. He can make, given the right circumstances, he can do things like that are extraordinary. And he's one of the best athletes to ever play the game.
yeah.
But when you ask him to bring the ball up and do all this bullshit, you're never going to get a situation where you're going to win big in the playoffs. And I know they already won an NBA title, but Middleton was at a different point of his career where Middleton was awesome in that pick and roll. And he was able to get a shot whenever he wanted. And Holiday was defensive. Know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that was a different Bucks team than I think you saw last year who lost to the Heat, even though Giannis was hurt. So I like the move for the Bucks because guess what? If you have a guy like Giannis, you got to do everything you can to keep him. It doesn't matter about the future. He is your future. And you saw the Cavs fuck it up with the first time with LeBron. And I think you see Milwaukee, a smaller market, who struggled for about 20 years there. They got deers in the headlights, no pun intended, because they're just what? Their franchise goes down what? Their evaluation goes down like 50 million, like not like even more. Probably like 100 million the day Giannis jumps off that team. So doing anything
go ahead.
Doing everything you can to keep him is the way to go.
Yeah, and this is my last thing on this matter, but you nailed it with when you have a player like Giannis, you have to do whatever it takes to keep him there because they've already won a championship with him, but it was their first championship since 1971 when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's name wasn't even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So that's crazy. And then also from what my last basketball point, then we could move on to non-sports stuff. But I just think, Collins, you brought up something really interesting with the Celtics. Like, the Celtics aren't afraid of Giannis. They've beaten Giannis in the playoffs. They've handled Giannis in the playoffs. They're not afraid of him. So I think the biggest story here is throwing Dame into that mix. Like, okay, now the Celtics, who just locked up Jaylen Brown to a multi-year deal, they've gone on some great runs, made a finals in the last year, 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, now they got to deal with Dame. And we'll see how the rest of the league deals with them too, because all year it's going to be a big story. I mean, they're now the title favorites, and I think rightfully so. So it'll be fun to keep tabs on, monitoring everything. But nonetheless, dude, the NBA and the player mobility, when it's done the right way, it's just it's awesome. It's a soap opera. It's always engaging, always entertaining. You got a new team every year with some new juice, and it'll be so fun to hopefully. If the Pistons can't do it, of course, which I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're not going to win it this year, I would love to watch Dame Lillard win his first ring with the Bucks. So that's all.
Good stuff, guys. I appreciate the basketball talk, as you'll learn here on the Viral Downtown podcast. I'm not as much of an NBA guy as these guys are, so good stuff rolling. I mean, that was big news today, too, though. Nice little Woj bomb to put in your morning coffee, I suppose, during football season. All right, that's going to bring us to our draft. We will have to get updated with the leaderboard as far as who's in first, second, third with our drafts over the last couple weeks. If you're new to the show, every week we have a different topic. We will draft a team. We will put those teams anonymously out to you, the listener, the viewer, for you to vote on. I have yet to win one. So I don't know how we want to do this here. And this comes on the heels of this. Collins brought this up, this Kevin James meme that's all over the internet now. Like, I get it, but I don't. I don't know where it came from, but that just kind of sparked the discussion today of like, why don't we draft memes? Which is going to be, admittedly, if you're not, I don't know how this is going to work in post-production with Brandon, our producer. I'm sure there's going to be a way that you can visualize the memes we're talking about, but this might be bad radio, but we're going to try our best to describe our memes as best we can, and we're going to go from there. So I don't know who wants to go. How do we decipher this? How should we figure out who's going first, second, third?
I can go last. I don't care. Collins, you go first because this was your idea. Rabs, you can go
fine.
second.
That's totally fine. Memes.
Do you guys even have a list?
A list?
No, I got some ideas, but I think you have like the prepared.
You also, I feel like, probably are on the internet more than we are. So I was struggling a bit to find.
You're not on I'm on Twitter all the time.
Yeah, I like memes.
Okay, my number one is gotta be. I don't even know how to describe it. The guy where he turns his head. He's a.
I know what you're talking about. I know
what I'm talking about. The guy from Parenthood.
Yes.
It's just like where you're like, whoa, you said that? It's just an all-time one. It always perfectly explanates. Like if someone in the group chat says something out of pocket, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming. You know what I mean? You're like always like, whoa.
This might end
up
really
being
being
a for the sake of like
hard one to translate to the listeners, but we'll figure it out.
No, I think there's a lot better ones than that. There's a lot because most of them have celebrities in it. This is one of those ones where it's like a generic dude. So I think this would be the only one that's kind of like that, but that's an elite meme. I would say that's my most used meme.
Okay, I love that. Rabs, you go ahead.
Okay. God, I don't know. Like the meme world is so dense that I don't. And we live in a world of memes now. Everything just gets memed. It's just the norm. Where it used to be like, did you guys used to have those times back in middle school when you would download that iFunny app and you would just scroll through memes and like pictures and stuff, and it was the greatest thing ever? So that's like where you used to go for the memes, but now literally everything gets turned into a meme. So I would say, and I was looking some of these up, some of the classic ones that we can talk about later of like the true original memes. And like those original memes are like dad memes now, where I feel like I don't find them funny, but I'll probably bring those back in 10 to 20 years and everyone will think I'm a comedic genius. I will go with one of my favorite ones. It's like the stuffed animal monkey and he's like split in half. And at first he's like looking off into the distance. And the second one, he's like looking like kind of at the camera, like what Collins was saying. You know what I'm talking about? Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. I actually have a whole folder of memes on my phone. Let me see if I can. Here, it's like literally.
I don't hate it. It's not a bad one.
This one. You know what I'm talking about?
No, yeah. One. Yes.
It's a great meme.
It's like a stuffed animal monkey, and at first he's like kind of giving you the side eye, and then he's looking forward with his eyes peeled. Like you can kind of use that in the same glimpse of like what Collins was saying. Like someone says something really out of pocket, you just kind of throw that out there, and you're like, whoa. So side eye stuffed monkey. That's the one I'm talking about. If you can find it, Collins, if you can find the one that you're talking about, let's try to at least show them to the camera so the people that are watching on YouTube can see it. And so I can see it. I need to know what you're talking about. Trent, go ahead.
I get 2 picks in a row here, correct? Because we're snaking it?
Yes.
So my first one, this is obvious. I don't even have to show it. It's crying Michael Jordan. I love using that and it's not because I hate Michael Jordan. It's just because like it's hilarious to use in any context. Like people Photoshop that onto another picture or onto another guy. It's an all-time like in the comments of tweets or X's, whatever the fuck you call them now. Like it's in the replies. Like people just like love the crying Jordan. I would also say this is a terrible one. I'm not, like Rab said, I'm not going to be very good here. I'm not going to be very good at this draft. If Collins doesn't mop the floor with us,
I couldn't see that, Collins. I can't see that. Put it back at the camera.
I'll pull it back up, but I'll send it. I'll send it to you guys.
Okay,
it's kind of hard. Mine's almost like a GIF. That's like the thing. Some of these are also GIFs.
Yeah, they could be GIFs. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's an important distinction.
It's about
some memes are GIFs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my second pick is going to be the Michael Scott screaming, "No, God, please, no," because I just love that. I think it's hilarious. Like on sports Twitter, you see it all the time.
See,
like
they're rebooting The Office.
What
are they actually?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing
with what cast.
I didn't hear that.
I don't know if they announced it, but like I don't know what the hell. Why? I don't think anyone wants to watch that.
I do. I will, but anyways, we don't have to stick on that. I just want to. I love the no, like the whole.
Yeah.
I love that.
But
that's amazing.
That's what I mean when I say that
we're now really good Office memes.
We're now dipping our toe. Like I think GIFs and memes are two different things. I would have a different list if I knew we were doing GIFs.
I think GIFs and memes are in the same boat. If they're used, I think they're used similar. You know what I mean?
I guess. All right. Well, to keep it rolling here,
I think they can be used. Well,
yeah, I get what you're saying. I will keep it going here with one that I think can be used in many different aspects. And this one always makes me laugh. It's the dog with the top hat on sitting in a burning house, and he says, "This is fine." This one.
I thought about that one. I thought about
it's just like it's just I think it's like very relatable, and also it just makes me laugh every single time. So that one's good. This is fine.
Okay.
I'm
running to the podium after. I'm running to the podium after Rabs' last pick. That's a good pick. I like that, but I have to go to the Arthur clenching his fist meme.
That's good. Yeah, it's good.
It is just so great. It fills a lot of context. Like you can be mad about a sporting thing. It's just very funny. It's like an elite meme where it's like you don't have to think about it too hard. It's like it's funny that it's Arthur. I love that meme.
You get two. You get another one.
Ah, God. And then I did a Spider-Man meme too.
Yeah.
That's good.
Meme. Where all the Spider-Mans are pointing at each other because they look like each other. Great. I enjoy that one
versatile.
every time I see it.
That's a really versatile meme too. That's good. Very good. Okay, back to me. You could probably make your own whole like subset of memes just out of SpongeBob memes, and I didn't want to everyone that knows me knows that I absolutely love the SpongeBob memes. But I will say one that has stood the test of time that I think can be used in many situations. It's also great is the one where Mr. Krabs is like in the orb of confusion almost, and he's like looking all around. This one,
yep,
where everything's like blurry around him.
Rabs, you took my last pick.
I mean, it's that one holds up in a lot of different situations. So good. It is truly fantastic. So I'll take that one as my third.
Rabs, I wasn't going to do anything SpongeBob because, as you guys know, I infamously never watched SpongeBob as a kid. But like the memes and the internet stuff you see from SpongeBob are it's inevitable. It's everywhere. So in that same vein, I get two picks here. Are we just drafting 4 total?
Yeah, we can do 4. Four works.
So I'm rounding out my team here, and I wasn't going to give this meme a roster spot, but I will in the same vein of Rav's SpongeBob thing. I love this one where it's like the parent like covering their kid's ears because I just see this. I see this under every single Donald Trump tweet, every single Antonio Brown tweet, every single it's always funny when I see it because like the look of peril on the adult's face as they're like, please, kids, do not listen to this man or this woman or whoever. I love it. That one always makes me laugh. And then last but not least, I will do the LeBron game 6 or game 7. Was it game 6 or game 7 against the Celtics where he's just like looking down? You know what I mean? Where he's just like looking up like the villain. You know what I'm talking about? It's iconic. Yeah, that one's great because again, I'm biased towards sports Twitter and the sports internet, but that meme can be used for countless things. And I say this knowing I'm going to get absolutely murdered in this poll. I don't care. That's my team. Back to Raps.
I don't hate that. I'm struggling for number 4. I tried to use ones that I use regularly and that I think hold up. I'm stuck on one here between, it's the same character, but it's 2 different versions. But I'm gonna go with the classic of. See, and I will say too, this will be a pandering pick because I think that this one is very much overused. But the Kermit the Frog drinking the tea, I'm gonna go with that one, and I'll tell you what my other one was going to be once Collins picks his last guy here. But that one has I feel like the Kermit drinking the tea, like there was a whole era of Twitter where people were just tweeting that with different captions. Like that was a very notable meme. So I'm gonna go with that one to round mine out, and we'll let Collins finish, and then we can kick around some honorable mentions.
Dude, I'm not going to take it, and I'm going to last pick. I kind of want to take the Kevin James meme because as a guy who watched King of Queens, it is so fucking funny. It is so funny.
That meme is actually very funny. I don't know why it just came out of nowhere,
funny,
but
I'm going to take the Kevin James meme. It is fucking elite. And it's been overused in the last 24 hours, but once we kind of get out of this cycle, it is as good as it gets.
Just the innocent shrug.
Everything works with that. Like my buddy, I asked my buddy last week, I was like, hey, you want me to bring Chinese over? He's like, no, I made chili. And I was like, I'll have a bowl or two. And it's just the Kevin James meme. Like that, it plays in every aspect of life. It's awesome.
The innocent shrug.
That's great.
That's good.
I just love King of Queens too. King of Queens is great. Come home from school, TBS at like 3:30, right before Seinfeld comes on. Just fantastic television. Douglas and Carrie, and then Jerry Stiller throwing 100 as Carrie's dad. So great show.
King of Queens is really good. Everybody loves Raymond. That whole pocket of television is really, really good. Honorable mentions. I was gonna use the evil Kermit one where it's like Kermit talking to the Kermit with the hood over his eyes. If you remember that one.
I wanted what's it called? The guy who's looking at a different girl when he's with the girl. That's a solid one.
That's because you can use that in a lot of different
I think that's maybe
facets.
the most used meme I see.
I want to throw this out there. I'm a little surprised neither one of you, and I would never have done this because I don't give a shit about wrestling, but I thought one of you guys would do like the WWE, anything from the WWE.
Undertaker coming out of the casket. Fuck, that's like my... Yeah.
There's so many memes from the WWE, you know?
Yeah, Undertaker rising out of the casket's good. I did like a search of best memes of all time, and I was looking at like the Bad Luck Brian where he's got the braces, the little kid that's like doing the fist pump. That was a good one. Scumbag Steve.
I'll be honest, I think the one I was going to do before the Kevin James one, because I just love the Kevin James one so much, was going to be Charlie Kelly and Always Sunny with the dartboard, and he's smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee. When he's tying everything together. I don't know if you guys have watched Always Sunny.
I've seen it. I've seen that.
With like the crazy look on his face.
Yeah, he's so sleep deprived. It's great.
I would say my last honorable mention, and this again very biased towards sports. Paul Pierce in the wheelchair is all time for me.
Trent, that would have been my 1-1 if I thought about that. That one is so great.
That's funny.
We're missing like a million.
That one, when I thought of the LeBron one, I thought of that one at the same time. I went with the LeBron one because I think it's more usable, but the Paul Pierce one's funnier.
I don't think I got my 2 favorite ones. I think Rabs and you both got the Mr. Krabs one is probably my favorite one.
Yeah, Mr. Krabs is great. There's the
What about the one where SpongeBob has the What about the SpongeBob? He has his book open and he's reading both pages at once. You know what I'm talking about? Like the one side and the other side?
No, the one where he's like the bird is great too.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, and everyone tweets
too.
it. Yeah. I've got a bunch of different ones. Yeah. So, like, man, like, I don't really feel like it. This one's good. This one's good where he's leaning on the rock with no pants on and he's, like, taking that deep breath.
Yeah.
World's smallest violin's good to send to. This one where he breathes in and goes, boy, that one's good. And then, all right, I'm a head out. That one's where he's in this one too.
That one's pretty solid.
Have you guys seen the one? Have you seen the one? It's not directly from SpongeBob, but it's like him smelling something, and then they put like the cap emoji in it, like I smell cap. It's that one's pretty funny.
Maybe that's kind of where you lose me because I don't really follow the lingo that much these days. But with like cap and
hang on, I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up.
Cap and bed and such.
I gotta pull this up. Yeah. This is it. It's just like when he's. I don't know what the context of the.
See, like I've never seen that in my life. I don't. That just goes to show how deep the internet is with memes and whatnot. I have never seen that.
Yeah. But. Okay. Well, there you go. I'm sure one of you two is gonna win. I'm not very confident in my team at all.
Probably Collins. I don't know. Collins is 1-1 though. I don't really know what he's talking about, and you guys also threw in a couple gifts, so I don't know how the people will respond. But
now that I think about it, that one might be more of a gift than it's definitely a meme too, though.
Okay, I don't. It's all interchangeable to me. I'm not gonna.
I'm sending it in our group chat right now, and I want a live reaction, and then everyone will see it. Everyone's got to go to the poll to see what it actually is.
Well, hang on. Before we go any further, Rabs, the definition of meme from Oxford is an image, video, piece of text, etc., typically humorous in nature that is copied and spread rapidly by internet users. Often
so this is a meme.
Variations. So yeah, like it can be a GIF.
A GIF is a meme.
It could even be a video, like, dude, the one of like Shaq and Kobe, their quick like 10-second highlight reel that everyone's like, anytime there's a dynamic duo doing anything in the world, they're like,
that's a good one too. I do like that one.
I get what you're. Okay, Collins, I hear you. I agree.
That is elite.
Yeah, that one's very widely used. All right, guys.
It's fantastic because it's that, and if we were to use GIFs, the little kid, the little black kid who's just crying, you know what I'm talking about, where he has one tear. No, not that one. He has one single tear coming down his eye.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the little kid that's like, oh, I can't believe it. Like, that one's awesome.
And another one I missed for people who watch Arrested Development, George Michael walking with his head down like Snoopy. Michael Cera, if people know who I'm talking about. That one's really good too.
That's good. Okay, we can do this forever. Now they got the wheels turned.
We've unlocked meme land, and I think that's exactly where we have to end things. So that's our draft for the week. You can go check us out on Instagram. We'll get it posted on the Instagram stories here soon. You can vote on the winners. Go back and listen to the other podcasts. You can listen to all of our mock drafts. But that's it for this episode of the Viral Downtown podcast. For Trent Bailey, for Ryan Collins, our producer, Brandon Kaur, I'm Ryan Rabinowitz. You can check out the episodes on Spotify. You can stream all of our podcasts there. We are also on YouTube. To search up the Viral Downtown podcast, you can watch all of our episodes there as well. Again, we are on Instagram. We are on TikTok at Viral Downtown. You can see clips. You can vote on our drafts. You can get engaged with the show, whatever it is that you want to do. We appreciate you listening. We will see you guys next week. Wash your hands. Keep in touch.